It's 8:36, morning to you. You're watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Angela.
Time to go through the papers now, and joining us this morning, we've got political editor of HuffPost UK, Kevin Schofield, and the journalist and author, Ella Whelan. And we're going to start with you, Kevin, because some interesting story in The Sun about apparently bosses secretly wanting their staff to go back to full-time work.
Yeah, well, according to Tony Danker, who should know, he's the Director General of the CBI, he says most bosses want people back in the office now. Working from home worked during the pandemic, but now there's
When it had to.
When it had to. But now there's no reason, he says, and people's productivity is better when they're in the office, and that's what bosses want. But it makes the point that, you know, most folk these days, if you're lucky enough to be able to work from home, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, basically in the office, gives you a long weekend at home. And I noticed that I was at a thing on Thursday night. It was a leave and do from somebody at work, and we went to the pub, and it was the first time I'd been in a pub on a Thursday night in a long time, and the place was absolutely mobbed, and I couldn't believe how busy it was. It was absolutely, and I said to somebody, it's really busy for a Thursday night, and they were like, well, this is actually Friday night for most people, because this is the start of their weekend. They'll be working from home tomorrow. So now Thursday has become the new Friday, and I think breaking that cycle will be really difficult for bosses. Actually, I think people, if they're lucky enough, as I say, not everyone can do it, but if you can have this sort of hybrid working between office 3 days a week, at home the rest of the week, I think people like that.
Yeah.
But do you think people would... I mean, it's all about productivity, isn't it? If you've got that sort of job. If it was me, I can only speak from experience, if it was me, I would do less work if I was just at home.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think generally that's, especially if you're hungover of a Friday morning. There's but what, Kevin's just talked about people being in the pub, but there's an acronym for these people: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. I'm not going to. It's too early in the morning to go into that, but there's a kind of, I think there's a bit of a myth going on that. It's a bit like throughout the pandemic, there was this very stark class divide, which was lots of people talking about how lovely it was working from home, and then all the rest of the people who either worked at supermarkets or bin men, all the rest of it, going on with their normal lives. There's a similar thing going on here, which is that, if you are, say, 28 and it's just you and your housemates and you have a nice kitchen and you can work from home, that's lovely. But if you have kids, or if you're, living working on a call centre from your bedroom, in a tiny house with no garden, then it's miserable.
Yeah. Look, we're going to take a break from you two just for a second, but you can give us your analysis afterwards, actually, if you like.